Fernando Alonso, the acclaimed Formula One driver, has reached a remarkable milestone in his illustrious career by securing his 100th podium in the sport. Despite facing numerous controversies, the 41-year-old has proved his mettle over the years, driving for several teams. Currently a part of the Aston Martin team, he is touted as Red Bull's top challenger for 2023. Alonso's unwavering determination and exceptional skill have helped him achieve this feat, cementing his place among the legends of the sport. His journey is a testament to the power of perseverance and hard work in the face of adversity. Fernando Alonso's road to the 100th podium in Formula One has been anything but ordinary. After spending almost a decade in the middle of the pack, he has made a roaring comeback in the 2023 season. Nicknamed the anti-hero of F1, Alonso relishes his role as the sport's villain, and he didn't disappoint at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, where he dramatically clinched his milestone podium. Despite a controversial 10-second penalty that initially saw him demoted from the podium, he was eventually reinstated following an appeal by Aston Martin. With his fearless attitude and impressive skills, Alonso is undoubtedly one to watch in the upcoming races. 2001, Minardi. Fernando Alonso's Formula One journey began in 2001, long before the debut of McLaren's young gun, Oscar Piastri. He started with Minardi, a struggling team that later became AlphaTauri under Red Bull's ownership. The team faced severe budget constraints, and Alonso even helped put the car together before the first race in Australia. Despite their best efforts, the team couldn't score any points that season, and Alonso's best finish was 10th place. His debut season was a tough one, with 8 retirements highlighting the car's shortcomings. Alonso's humble beginnings are a testament to his resilience, determination, and unrelenting spirit to succeed in the sport. There were no wins and no podiums for him. 2002 to 2006, Renault. Fernando Alonso burst onto the Formula One scene as a fresh-faced 22-year-old with Minardi, a team whose lack of resources meant that they were perennial backmarkers. But it was enough to catch the eye of Flavio Briatore, Renault's team boss and Alonso's manager. In just his second season, Alonso claimed his first pole position and maiden podium, announcing himself as Spain's first driver in the sport. He would go on to win back-to-back titles with Renault, holding off the legendary Michael Schumacher in nail-biting fashion. With 15 career victories and 37 podiums, Alonso was the hero. 2007, McLaren. It was a bold move to leave a team that had just won 2 consecutive titles, but Fernando Alonso did just that, signing with McLaren to join forces with a rookie named Lewis Hamilton. The decision didn't work out the way he'd hoped. On the one hand, McLaren was competing for the championship against Ferrari, while Renault had fallen to 4th place. But tensions were high between Alonso, Hamilton, and McLaren boss Ron Dennis. The two drivers fought for the 2007 title, but lost points due to their squabbles, ultimately finishing tied in 2nd place behind Kimi Räikkönen. Alonso left under a cloud, missing out on further championship opportunities. There were 4 wins and 12 podiums. 2008 to 2009, Renault. Alonso's return to Renault for the 2008 season wasn't exactly a fairy tale. The team wasn't as competitive as he had hoped, but that didn't stop the Spaniard from taking 2 victories against all odds. One of these victories, however, was tainted with controversy. At the Singapore Grand Prix, Alonso's teammate Nelson Piquet Jr. conveniently crashed at a crucial time, allowing Alonso to take the win. The following season was even less successful, with no wins and only 1 podium finish in Singapore. It was time for a change, and Alonso would soon find himself driving for the iconic Ferrari team. Despite the lack of success, Alonso managed to secure 2 race wins and 4 podium finishes with Renault. There were 2 wins and 4 podiums. 2010 to 2014, Ferrari. Fernando Alonso's stint at Ferrari was marked with near misses and a constant battle with Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel. Despite his formidable talent, Alonso was also hampered by a Ferrari that was weaker than its Red Bull counterparts. He came achingly close to winning the championship in 2010 and 2012, only to be piped at the post by Vettel. In 2014, with the beginning of the hybrid engine era, Ferrari's car was struggling, and Alonso began to look elsewhere. But as it turned out, Ferrari came good the very next year, winning 3 races with Vettel. Chandhawk believes that if Alonso had stayed on, he could have won the championship for Ferrari in 2018. With 11 race wins and 44 podium finishes to his name, Alonso's time at Ferrari was one of what-ifs and missed opportunities. 2015 to 2018, McLaren. Fernando Alonso's return to McLaren in 2015 was supposed to be a reunion filled with promise, but instead turned out to be a big nightmare. The team partnered with Honda, with whom they had enjoyed great success in the past, but things quickly took a turn for the worse. The car was slow, the engine unreliable, and Alonso was quick to express his frustration over the team radio. Despite moving to Renault Power in 2018, the car's underlying performance issues remained, and Alonso left the team, eventually retiring from Formula One. It was a disappointing end to a career that saw him compete with some of the sport's best teams and drivers. No wins and no podiums. 2019 to 2020, retirement. Fernando Alonso's break from Formula One didn't mean he was taking a backseat in motorsport. The adaptable driver was always on the move, trying his hand at different racing series like the Indy 500, Dakar Rally, and the Le Mans 24-hour. He wasn't content with just competing though, and emerged victorious in the World Endurance Championship with Toyota. Alonso proved he was still at the top of his game, and it was no surprise when the news broke that he was interested in returning to Formula One, following Sebastian Vettel's departure from Ferrari in 2020. 2021 to 2022, Alpine. Fernando Alonso's return to Formula One in 2021 with the Alpine team was a much-anticipated comeback for the two-time world champion. Despite his wealth of experience and success, Alonso's return wasn't as successful as many had hoped, with the team struggling to compete for victory. However, the announcement of Sebastian Vettel's retirement midway through the 2022 season ignited the driver market and gave Alonso one more shot. With Alpine unwilling to offer a 2-year contract, Alonso moved on to a team that would. Although he left on good terms, Alonso admitted that the lack of trust from the team played a role in his departure. At 41, Alonso's spirit to prove his worth and compete at the highest level was as strong as ever. 2023, Aston Martin. After being let go by his previous team due to doubts about his age, Fernando Alonso found a home at Aston Martin, a team that seemed an unlikely fit at first. With Lawrence Stroll as his boss, many were concerned about how the relationship would work out, but Alonso quickly proved his worth with 2 podium finishes in his first 2 races. Aston Martin has been a surprising force this season, beating Mercedes and Ferrari despite being a smaller, less funded team. Their underdog mentality and scrappy racing style suit Alonso's approach to the sport perfectly, and he finally has the car and team to challenge Red Bull's dominance. This is how the underdog of Formula One got his 100 podiums. Let us know your thoughts about the Formula One races and their drivers. We would appreciate your responses and keep you updated with this type of content. Subscribe to continue your journey with us and press the bell icon to never miss an update. Thank you for watching.